and therefore the best Marvel Phase 4 movie is... What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So with the recent release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I thought it'd be a really cool idea to look back at all of the Phase 4 movies released so far and rank all 7 of them from number 7 all the way to number 1. If you want to check out my longer, full, in-depth reviews for every single one of these individual movies, then I'll link all of them in the description box below. And if you want me to do something similar for the Marvel TV shows in Phase 4, as well as reviewing and ranking every single one of the 30 movies released so far, then let me know in the comment section below. But let's begin the ranking for Phase 4. So at number 7 has to be Black Widow. Now, I do think this movie could have been absolutely incredible if they had followed a very similar blueprint to Captain America Winter Soldier, which was a true spy espionage movie, and then just completely turns on itself and turns into something completely different and shocks both the viewers as well as the main lead character. So the blueprint was so good, and all of the additional characters and actors were so phenomenal. So I feel like if the movie and the script was so much stronger, it could have been really, really good. But from what we did get, unfortunately, it was just really forgettable and just ultimately really, really disappointing, as it was just so average and so mediocre. And as far as all of the Marvel movies are concerned, it is unfortunately one of the weakest. Now at number 6 is Eternals. Now I was so hyped for this movie. I just couldn't wait, as firstly the caliber of all of the actors is just unbelievable, and then you have these incredible superpowers with all of these different characters, and from the trailer footage at least, it all just looked so incredible and so magical. But similarly to Black Widow, the final product of the film was just so weak. I feel like it was trying to be really, really artistic, which is fine, and I think it is really cool that Marvel Studios does try to do a different spin with all of their productions, both from a movie and TV show perspective. But this one just felt really, really weak. The storyline just wasn't that impressive. There were just so many characters, and that can work, like Guardians of the Galaxy has shown that it can do, but I just feel like it was just such a mess. It just wasn't as gripping as it could have been. If they had better pulled some of the comic book storyline material, I feel like even that could have been so much stronger, as the deviants were just so weak in this film. I really like the ambition that they had with it, but unfortunately, very similarly to Black Widow, it just didn't work. In at number 5 is Thor Love and Thunder. Now this movie definitely had some awesome moments in there, but unfortunately, very similarly again, I feel like the script and the end product just didn't work. I have heard that there is so much better footage of Gore the God Butcher out there, which is a lot more horror based, a lot more killing based, and just really does bring Christian Bale to the forefront in a much stronger and better way, which I just think is such a travesty, as Christian Bale playing a villainous character, playing Gore the God Butcher opposite Chris Hemsworth. I mean, this movie should have and could have been the best Marvel movie released so far, but I don't know how on earth they just got messed up so badly. Eternity was fine in terms of granting wishes, but I definitely feel like they could have done so much more with that. They definitely could have done so much more with Zeus. Like I said, they could have done so much more with Gore. I thought Jane was fine. I know a lot of people have been really critical of that, but I think Jane Foster was fine in this film. But Thor, they just made Thor an absolute joke. Now, I enjoyed the first 2 Thor movies. I know they are equally quite forgettable as well, but I love the fact that it did feel like the comic book version of Thor. And I have loved humorous Thor, especially in Infinity War. I feel like in that movie it works so well. But I don't know, I feel like they just overdid it here and just made him such a joke. I'm just really hopeful that the next couple of times that you see Chris Hemsworth's Thor, that they definitely do improve it from this movie. Next up is Multiverse of Madness. Now the hype level for this movie, especially from myself and I think from everybody else as well, was just through the roof. Everybody was just expecting so many massive cameos in this movie, which I'm sure Marvel Studios have heard and will now do in Secret Wars. But as far as this film is concerned, I feel like firstly they revealed far too much in all of the trailer footage, which just meant that what we did see in the final movie was just basically that, which was really, really disappointing. I don't think it's as bad as the other movies I have mentioned so far, but I definitely feel like this movie could have and should have just been so much better. First, from a script point of view, loved Wanda. So, this movie definitely had some redeeming factors to it, but I just feel like, they definitely could have and should have pushed the multiverse aspects of this movie so much further, especially if you're going to have multiverse in your title, then come on, you need to tap into it a lot more. Now, I really struggle with the films that are in 3rd place and in 2nd place, and I did alternate so many different times before filming this review, but I finally concluded that in 3rd place I'm going to put Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now this movie, like I said in both of my spoiler reviews and my non-spoiler reviews, is just so excellent and is the perfect example of how you really do a sequel as it just continues everything so brilliantly. And then of course you chuck in the dagger of the tragic passing of the lead actor and character Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa, which I just can't imagine what it must have been like for Ryan Coogler and everybody else behind the scenes. But given that extreme situation, I feel like what they created was incredibly brilliant, super emotional. I feel like the tribute that they did to Chadwick Boseman was just so touching. But not only that, the storylines were really, really epic. The visual cinematography was absolutely unbelievable. The storylines were really, really great. And also the mid-credit scene does tease a really bright future as well. And it just so narrowly missed out on being the runner-up in second place, which I'm going to give to Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which was just so incredible. I absolutely love this movie. Quite possibly may well be the best example of how you do a truly brilliant origin storyline for a comic book character. And even though the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been going on for so long, I feel like what they did with Shang-Chi was actually pretty remarkable, as very similarly to Wakanda Forever, they really did keep family at the heart of it, so you're really connected with the characters. And also, very similar to Wakanda Forever, it had an incredibly brilliant villain. One credit I have to say for Phase 4 is that all of their villains are actually really, really good. Maybe not in Black Widow and in Eternals, but other than that, I have to say the villains are just so good. And I just loved the relationship between Shang-Chi and Wenwu, as these two do love each other, but still they are in massive conflict with one another. And I just feel like this movie balanced action and humor really, really well. Loved all of the comedic angles and all of the incredible action sequences and set pieces. This movie honestly was just such a spectacle to watch from a cinematography point of view. On the big screen, absolutely love Shang-Chi, but in first place, it has to go to Spider-Man No Way Home, which was just easily one of the best comic book movies ever made. And I have to say, as far as the third movie from the Homecoming trilogy is concerned, it was just absolutely brilliant. I have to say, Marvel Studios are really, really good with their third installments, as Captain America Civil War was so good, and incidentally introduced Tom Holland Spider-Man, but I just love No Way Home. This movie really did tap into the multiverse in a way that Multiverse of Madness should have done to an even bigger extent, but you know, loved the nostalgia ride in terms of all of the villains from the Sonyverse of films. Obviously having Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in this movie was absolutely unbelievable, and Tom Holland's journey across this film, as well as incorporating all of the culmination of the Homecoming movies and the wider Marvel space as well. This movie honestly just represented so much, and it could have been a bit of a gimmicky movie that, you know, they're just bringing back people from the past just for nostalgia's sake, but I feel like they interwove it really, really nicely into the fabric of the narrative, and this movie was just unbelievable, and you can see why it's earned over $2 billion, which is just so well deserved. So, you know, for the most part, I actually really enjoyed Phase 4. I feel like it was really brilliant how they introduced all of the Disney Plus TV shows. I feel like Marvel Studios interwove that into their fabric really, really nicely. And I just feel like, you know, from a movie's point of view, some misses, but a lot of hits as well. But now I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of Phase 4 so far? What is your ranking? Let us all know in the comment section below. And now I'm super, super excited for what they're going to do in the future with Phases 5 and with Phases 6. So like I said, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.